Listen, I'm going to say this from a place of love. I am not here to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm only here to help. But I do know that the truth hurts sometimes. And the truth is, your trauma is no longer the problem. As a grown adult, your trauma is no longer the problem. Some of y'all do not need any more healing content. You just need some accountability. Now I'm going to explain, but before I do so, let me introduce myself. Jesus, I will leave you You're my always and forever. Hey friends, welcome to the Holyafpodcast, Holy and Forgiven, that is. I am your host, Mercedes, and you can call me your internet accountability partner, because some of y'all don't have any friends to do it for you. Now I'm gonna jump straight into the topic, but I need to make some things clear first. I mean, like see-through, just so some of you do not feel like you're being dismissed. Me speaking on this topic is not me dismissing your pain. I wholeheartedly agree that some of us have gone through certain things that we never should have experienced. And yes, while trauma can explain you and it can explain some of your ways, that does not mean that it excuses you. That does not mean that it excuses some of your actions. So I wanted to make that clear first. Yes, trauma is very, very real. I feel like most people experience it in some way, shape, or form. It becomes a thing that controls how we think. It controls how we react to certain things. It controls, sadly, how we love other people. And it controls how we trust other people. And if you have not healed from your trauma, that categorizes you as a hurt person. And hurt people hurt people. And I know you've heard that before, and it's a very true thing. So trauma is a problem in itself. It is. It is a huge problem. It's an unfortunate problem that some of us didn't have a choice or don't have a choice but to experience. However, I want to talk about an even bigger problem. Let's talk about how some of you allow trauma to become your identity. You allow the trauma that you have to become who you are. Define who you are. And without even noticing, you have built your identity around what has hurt you in the past. You're allowing your past to control you in every way, shape, and form. Now, this is you as a grown adult, a grown person that is liable and has full capability to make decisions on your own. The decisions you're making stems from you not allowing yourself to heal from your trauma. And it's very unfortunate. It's a very sad thing because when you allow that trauma to shape who you are, when you allow that trauma to shape your identity, you have unintentionally boxed yourself in to this thing where you feel like you're not capable of anything more than your hurt. Oh, I went through this. I'm doomed. Oh, I had this type of childhood. It messed me up for life. Did it really? Or are you just choosing to stay in that mess? Are you choosing to stay in that hurt as a grown adult now? And I'm making that very clear because there are certain people, typically the children, teenagers, that can't control what they're experiencing when it comes to trauma. So, of course, some of them, they'll be acting out and having bad behavior and things like that because what are they supposed to do? But you as a grown adult, you have a choice. You can make decisions now on your own. You don't have to sit in that hurt. You don't have to choose your trauma anymore. And unfortunately, some of you have allowed your trauma to become your personality. You've allowed it to become your defense mechanism. You've allowed it to become your excuse. And suddenly, you're way too comfortable with staying broken. Now, I'm going to hold your hand, even as a grown person, when I say this, as someone that has actually made it through a traumatic experience, meaning you have gone through hell on earth, and yet you're still here. That means that you made it through. As someone that has made it through that, it is now your responsibility to heal from it. You cannot keep blaming your past for patterns you're choosing, literally choosing to repeat. I feel very passionate about this topic because I know a couple of people like this. And I feel bad for them. You know, I feel bad that they feel like they have to behave or act a certain way or make certain decisions because of what they saw when they were younger or what they went through when they were younger. It's time for you to take some accountability. I believe when it comes to spirituality, I feel like some people struggle and tussle with it because they're like, well, how come God allowed me to experience this? If he wants all good for everyone, how could he allow me to have gone through this? Why did he allow this to happen to me? I feel like there's a lot of people that may question that. I believe that God allows us to experience certain things. He allows us to experience the hurt, to experience the trauma, to experience the unfortunate situation, whatever that may be, because it may be that one thing that fuels us and make us stronger. It may be that one thing that can push you to the next level. It will, I think it's that thing that allows us to say that, oh, I done been through hell. I'm not doing that no more. And because you feel that way, you tend to make decisions that'll help you grow instead of the poor decisions. I feel like those things, everything that we go through, all of our experiences, they're meant to shape us into the better person. They're meant to shape us into that person that God has called us to be. And unfortunately, without us experiencing a little bit of turmoil, some of us won't move. Some of us won't grow. Some of us will just be out here cruising. So I do feel like the trauma plays an important role in who you become. However, who you become after that trauma should be greater. It shouldn't be a lack thereof because you experienced whatever that is. So how do you get to the point of actually healing, like wholeheartedly? I know a lot of people, I'm going to use a situation that's so simple. Someone can act like they're no longer holding a grudge against somebody that has done them wrong in the past. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm over that. Like, I see them, it don't mean nothing to me. But the moment they see that person, they allow that person to take full control. They allow that person to have full power over their mood. And if that's the case, you have not healed. If you allow someone else to walk in a room and shift your entire mood, you're holding a grudge. I know what that's like. I've experienced it. And there may be a couple people that I'm still holding a grudge against. I'm still working on myself too, child. But at least I can acknowledge that. And I feel like trauma works the same way. Some people will sit there in denial, like, no, that didn't bother me. Yeah, I went through it, but it didn't bother me. But yet, you're out here making the poorest of the poorest decisions. Yet you're not out here growing. Yet you're not out here being a better person for the next person. You just out here hurting people, acting out rashly. That trauma's controlling you, and you need to learn to heal from it. So how do you genuinely heal? Like, what do you need to do to actually heal? First, everybody knows the first step to fixing the problem is acknowledging the problem. Acknowledging that it actually hurt you. Acknowledging that it actually happened to you. So the first thing you need to do is just be honest with yourself. Not with nobody else. It's not about anybody else. Call it what it is. Call trauma, trauma. It's okay. And you know what? Even you taking that step, that's a big step. That's a big step because we got this thing called pride. Y'all know pride is the devil. We got this thing called pride, and when pride gets in the way and that ego get in the way, you don't feel right saying things like, yeah, I went through trauma. Like, a trauma hurt me, or that thing hurt me. We don't feel right saying it because you kind of feel kind of weak when you say it, yeah? That's not true. That's a sign of strength. That's a sign of, oh, I'm about to beat this thing. So be honest. Call it what it is. After you finally recognize it, it's time to take some accountability. Now, I'm trying to find a way to say this without offending anybody. Some of you have caused hurt in another person's life, and you have caused that hurt because you were also hurt. And without even realizing, you've allowed the hurt that you experienced to control your actions and force you to hurt the next person. When that person has called you out on what you have done, instead of owning up to it, you are probably giving an excuse. Well, I did this to you because I was going through this, that, and the third. I did this to you because I ain't have nobody. I did this to you because you going through that hurt. It does not excuse you. You were wrong. And sometimes it's okay to say, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. I'm sincerely sorry for hurting you. I wish I could have been better for you. I wish I could have showed up for you differently, but I couldn't because I was not mature yet. You can say that. And guess what that is? That's you taking accountability. A lot of y'all need to stop coming with the... Now, some of y'all just want to argue. Let me just say that. Some of y'all just want to argue, get your point across, and feel like everything that you've ever done in your life should be validated. When the truth is, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is you were dead wrong. And now you need to acknowledge that you were wrong and take some accountability for the pain you have put on others. So the second step would be to take some accountability. The third step would be to do the work. You've been honest about what it is. You called it what it is. You're taking accountability for your behavior in the past. You've taken accountability for it. Now it's time to do the work, because it just doesn't stop there. All the acknowledgments in the world ain't going to help you just heal. You know what I mean? It's time for you to do the work. Now that process looks different for everybody, but a couple of things that you could do that may work for you is simply praying every day. Praying that hurt away. Praying that trauma away. Praying and asking God to not allow you to allow your trauma to control you. Another thing you can do is journal. Just write. Just write. Sometimes I feel myself, I don't be writing, but I'll open up my notes app real quick. And I just get typing like how I'm feeling about something. Not even realizing I'm doing it. I just do it. I don't know. It's just like when I don't feel like I can vent to anybody, or if I don't have the strength to talk to God, because that's a real thing. Sometimes we don't even have the strength to talk to God. You just want him to read your heart. When you don't have the strength to talk to God, sometimes you just be having your thoughts like pour through your head. I pull out my notes app and I get to typing away. And then at the end, I lock my notes so people don't be too nosy. Put a password on it. I can put a password on your notes, by the way. Some of you may need to go to therapy. I feel like all of us should be in therapy. I actually want to look into that for myself too. I feel like everybody should take therapy. And sometimes, even if you don't feel like there's anything wrong with you, I just feel like everybody should just go take therapy. Just see what they say. And some of you might realize that you actually are affected by some things. So I feel like therapy will help with something like this. And a very important one, I always stand on this. Set some boundaries. Set boundaries between who you associate with. Set boundaries around what you allow people to get from you, your access to people. Set boundaries around how you even show up for people, because sometimes you can be doing too much. Unfortunately, everybody don't deserve that, and it puts you in a bad place. Just set some boundaries. So whatever you have to do the work. And lastly, you need to just change your identity. You don't have to identify with trauma. You don't have to. Kick it out. Kick trauma to the curb, baby. It don't deserve to be in your life no more. Not while you got full control. Absolutely not. It doesn't deserve to be there. So you need to say, you are not your trauma. Say, I am not my trauma, girl. Say, I am not broken. You are not broken. You're extraordinary. In some way, shape, or form, you are extraordinary. And stick with that identity. So again, we're not pretending that what happened to us didn't happen, because you can't just dismiss it like that. What we are doing is we're deciding that it just can't control us anymore. You simply cannot become who God is calling you to be while holding on to your hurt. That hurt is going to deter you every time. That hurt is going to distract you every time. So you can't become that person fully without letting go of that hurt. You need to let it go so you can grow. I really hope this helps someone. It's not a simple topic. It's not an easy topic to talk about. It's not a comfortable topic to hear about, but somebody needed to hear it. Until next time, I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care. Jesus, I will leave you